Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 Anything negative, cause I just wanna hear it out your mouth, yeah. Give me fuel, it's a tool that I use to go ahead and run my mouth, yeah. I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. That's how you get big box, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase it? Face it, I don't give up quick, I don't give up shit, I won't give up this. Cause I know that I want it, know that I'm on it, I'll make it, I promise. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Welcome everybody to the Night Watch. I am your intrepid and tired and unshaven host, Fisher of Spam, also known as Jim. I go by whatever you want. Anyways, guys, it's awesome to see y'all. I've been extremely busy and had so much going on, and I have done my best to make sure that something can happen tonight. Why, you might ask? Because I love you. That's why. You guys are awesome. I love hanging out with you. So, that being said, what up? Nah, for real though. So tonight, I've got a good buddy come and hang out with us. So a couple of neat stories from south the border. And aside from that, I don't know. I'm on the rails of a crazy train, and I hope it gets derailed in the most fun way possible. So with that being said, I see he looks ready down there. Everybody, welcome my good buddy, Mr. Tom Franklin.
Hi, Jim. It's great to be here.
Yeah, man. It's great to see you.
Yeah, man. It's good to see you, too. You wrote me last night. Hey, you want to pop on? I want to run a show. I know you've been working hard, and let's go, buddy. I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Kind of wish you would have left the mask on for the reveal, but that works too.
No, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that later It's the holiday spirit, man. I'll throw it on. Hold on. Okay, we'll do that for a second. Okay, don't be afraid, guys. This is Tom in a rubber mask. Okay.
Oh my God, it's terrifying.
All right.
Oh, that's better. That's better.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into the holiday spirit.
Yeah, I dig it.
It's better.
Yeah. Oh, I'm actually gonna wear my favorite one for the forum that we're gonna do on Tuesday. Which, by the way, folks,
Oh, they're going down? Is it going down?
What? Yeah.
Are we doing that?
Yeah, I think so. Aren't we?
Well, we're waiting for Magical to make sure that he can make it.
Oh,
As far as I
I
understood,
thought he said
unless
yeah.
I missed something.
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
Okay. Well. In other words, then wait. Yeah, forget what I said, folks. Maybe it won't happen.
Pam, do you know?
Pam, tell us. What's happening right now? Where am I? Why is the stuff behind my head green? I don't know where I am. Anyways. Okay, so if magic's down, it's gonna happen. And it's gonna be here on this time around. So hey, what up, buddy? What's going on, man?
13th, that's not good. Oh, is that what okay. All right.
Kinda.
Rocking and rolling on a Saturday.
Interesting how your audio sounds so good.
Does it sound better with the mask on?
It sounds more consistent. Interestingly.
You know, I am Mr. Consistency. We do know that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
I will be wearing this next week for my live. So I'm just practicing. Next week I got it my live. We're gonna dress up.
Mine's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping that the blow up part of it doesn't like stand right here in front of the camera, so I'm not like this the whole time. But it just might. But just so you know, guys, it's gonna be awesome. So don't want to miss that.
All right.
Pam says too much info. It's not quite one of those costumes.
Pam, you know, this is Jim. Jim is the outlaw of the group. We know this.
Yes, I mean technically I'm the nice Christian feller, but I am a bit of a outlaw. I like to be rebellious at times in certain circumstances. I just say I'm the
hilarious.
fun one.
I think that's the first time I've I really took in your intro, and you know you're like this Christian dude, and you like banging heavy banging hip hop, and you have your personality is all within your intro, so everyone's like, okay, we know who we're gonna run into.
Yeah,
is it this or is it that? It's like, oh my god, all right, let's go.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes I watch it and I'm like, is it a little bit too wordy? Maybe, but if I take out all my jokes that I have and insert it in with the serious stuff, then
what do I do?
Then what are we doing? You know what I mean? You got to have a little bit of levity with the subject, man, because, you know, eventually, I don't know how many folks out there in YouTube know this, but when you seriously deep dive on any subject, it doesn't matter if it's aliens, cryptids, conspiracy. When you go down that tunnel far enough, so you guys know, in case you haven't noticed yet, there's only two things waiting for you at the end. Sorry, I didn't make the rules. I just experienced it myself.
So what's the two things you run into at the end, Jim? I'm a little slow here. And no, I'm not Skull and Bones a little twisted. What's the two?
The two things at the end are the decision. Do you want to God, devil, evil?
Okay.
Wait, hold on. There we go.
It's so much different in you. So much different in my worldview. I mean, I love the analogy, but I think you run into yourself and or the truth.
Sure. Think of it as just light and dark, good and evil, yourself versus the other. However, whatever you want to sprinkle it as. You know what I mean? I'm not here to force nothing on nobody. But I mean, think about it, man. Like when we go down like a rabbit hole, let's just take conspiracy, right? Like, oh, I don't know. 9/11 was an inside job. Why?
Oh
Money.
yeah,
Why money?
yeah,
Well, because money rules the world. Why does it rule the world? That's the root of all evil. Or let's take it a different step or a different flavor direction. Because lizard people. Okay. What do they do? Bad stuff. Like what? Bad stuff. Yeah, I mean, you just
yeah.
just keep
I got
on
what you're
going
saying.
down the hole. You know what I mean? Keep going
I
down the
got what you're
hole and
saying.
ask why. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I came to that realization as well. It's like if there's this, like, if there's an evil in the world that we all know exists, like there. So it's not about money and or power. At the end, it's some type of it's kind of the wrong word, but it's kind of a cultish. And then you go, like what is this in the end? And
Right.
there's just a true evil. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like they want to kill, they want to unlife children in one way or another, or they want to this or change yourself in the way you shouldn't be changed. And then you realize it's all about kind of like lessening us and making them more. And then so you go, okay, so there's this ultimate evil, okay, ultimate good. So therefore, there's where my, to kind of go with you a little bit on God. But then what I do is I have that, okay, so then I have to reflect it upon myself and say, okay, how do I fit into all this? What is it about me who sees this and tries to like help others see it as well? And that's the reflection. So the truth and
Tap, tap, tap. Oh, are you there?
I'm here. I got my internet's a little shaky today. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, I fixed it by tapping on the glass for you. Oh,
There,
wait.
there. Thank you, sir.
No
Like
problem.
like the zoo. You like the zoo, you're like, hey, you there, buddy? I
Ooh.
actually try to tap on the screen to make an effect and realize I have to tap on the camera.
That's why I was actually up here.
Yeah. I'm not the
Yeah.
brightest sometimes, Jim.
It works. It works. But yeah, man. So anyways, sorry for the little winding path that we just took there for a short minute and
I don't be
found
sorry
some
for
really
that. Don't
cool
be sorry for
roses.
that. I'm sorry for that, dude. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. They're trying to jack you loose, people. Anyways.
That's my guy.
Yeah, I know. I like him too.
He's great.
Yeah. So anyways, man, I know that you happen to have a couple of interesting stuff that you have seen and or experienced. Do you care
Yeah.
to tell the folks a little bit
Which one
about
do you
that?
want to? Which one do you want to go into, buddy? I mean, I'll give you. I know what you told me, but let's make it a little interesting for the viewers. I have a poltergeist encounter when I was 8. I had a Hatman encounter when I was 24. And I also, when I moved out here so maybe I was 42, 43, I had, I think either was an element or twice. I've had that happen to me as well out in the middle of the rainforest, the jungle here in the Yucatan Peninsula. So
Right.
I don't know. Which one you want to hear, buddy?
Well, man, that's totally up to you. I will say, for one, like I know that the jungle is terrifying, but not outright.
Really?
Yes, I find the jungle very interesting because like one time I went to Costa Rica for a vacation. It was like a week, maybe week and a half. Man, I loved my time out there so much. And like every single night, man, like we were drinking just 2-liter bottles full of beer. And it was so good. And I'd be like stumbling back to like my bungalow at night.
Oh, you mean like the 40s? The 40s?
Whatever they are. I mean, they're big old glass bottles.
Yeah. Caguamas, they call them. At least that's Mexican. They call it caguama, which is
I
like a
don't know.
40. That's what they call it here, dude.
I just remember that the brand that I liked the most and even bought a shirt from them was called Imperial. and I loved that stuff. It was great.
Imperial. Okay, that must be Costa Rica. We don't have that here.
I don't know.
We got Superior, Tecate Light, Tecate Rojo, Dos Equis, 2Xs. There's a whole bunch of other like canned ones, but like that's what most of you get is this kind. And they're cheaper that way. So that's why people buy them.
Well, I know that they were good, very cold on a hot day. But anyways, the moral of the story was like on day.
There's a moral? Okay.
Yeah, there's a moral. There's a moral. I'm getting somewhere with this.
Oh, okay. I'm waiting.
On day 4, let's see here. We'd just come in to eat breakfast, and our groundskeeper, Carlos, was like, hey, just so you know, underneath your bungalow, pointing at me and my wife, a jaguar sleeps there at night. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, wait, like big cat jaguar. Make sure there's not like a, word getting misconstrued. He's like, yeah, big cat,
or like
rip your face off.
Or a Matchbox car jaguar.
Right. And I'm like, Carlos, you understand how much beer we've been drinking at night? Every night? I'm practically stumbling back on that path to my bungalow. And you're just now telling me about the face-ripping cat. He's like, well, I thought you should know. I'm like, yeah, I thought I should know that on day 1. So I went
a little late to the show.
Yeah, I went out there and looked underneath it. I mean, paw prints like the size of my hand. And I was like, oh my God. So after that, basically, when I stumbled back to the bungalow, I used a rubber mallet in one hand and a machete in the other because that's all I could find. It didn't stop me, but
a rubber mallet and a machete.
That's all I could find.
What are you gonna do?
It was either that or a spoon.
Cut the weeds or the trees a little bit, and then like put some paving stones down to the.
Yeah. That's all I had. But yeah.
Okay.
So
I'll tell
jungles
you,
are weird.
So I moved from Germany because of COVID. Like I lived in Germany for almost 2 decades. I say 20 years, 19 and some change. So I say 20. And better leave it a treat. Yes, put this little mouse out there with the spring and let it just.
So long as it doesn't think I'm the treat.
Yes. So me and my ex-wife, we were living in Germany, and it just got too much for me because my body, my choice. I follow the science, so I don't want to pick on anybody there, but I actually do follow science because I do think natural immunity is a real thing. And I had it, and there was just a lot of pressure, to keep wanting to put these things up my nose, and I just said, the hell with that. And we were trying to get back to the States. I wanted to move to like the northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, eastern Oklahoma area, to get away from those big blue cities. There's still forest there, there's still water there, there's beauty out there. You have the all the lakes, and you have the Ozarks and all that. I was like, that'd be cool. And it just didn't work out that way. The process was taking way too long, and then Omicron came, and I was like, yeah, they're going to lock us in here for sure, because that's the uncertainty that I was dealing with. So we then took the test to get on the plane, and we then flew to Mexico. We got all the paperwork done. My daughter is a Mexican citizen, as well as American, as well as German. So she has all three. And we, Mexico was allowing people to come in at the time. It was one of the few, I think there was only 2, maybe 3 in the world. I think it was Denmark, which was cold. I've been there before. Heavily taxed population, very sweet people. But I don't need to go. I wanted to get out of Europe, because I thought, like, if the end of the world is coming, I want to be somewhere far away from everything. Right. So I figure if I'm in the middle of the Ozarks, I'll make it. I can, wherever I got to go, there's plenty of places to go out there and live off the land if I really, really needed to. So then we decided to go to Mexico. And so we looked around. Okay, I'll take care of all the paperwork. You look for the location. So I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. So I didn't want to be in the desert. I didn't want to be in the Baja Peninsula area, because it's quite dangerous. in the central Mexico areas, way too many people, or in the north where all the cartels run around and there's a bunch of sand. So we started. She's like, the south is the best. It's poorer part of Mexico, but it's safer. And so I looked it up, and it's true. So in Yucatan, it's really safe. So the first city I looked at was Cancun. I was like, it's a little dangerous at some parts, and then I was the capital of the Yucatan. It's called Merida or Merida. I guess that's how you pronounce it in English. Merida. It's kind of like 1 million people, but it gets really, really hot, and it's 1 million people. I was like, I don't want that many people around me. You know what I mean? If shit pops off again, I want to be able to get out. So I found this little town that's called Campeche. It's like Camp, Campecag, Campeche. And it's the state of Campeche, which only it's like, I think it's like 2 to 3 times the size of West Virginia and has less than 1 million people. And I was like, oh, that's me. And then it backs up to like Calakmul, which is one of the largest like natural reserves in all of Central America. So okay, let's do that. So we landed in Cancun, stayed overnight at a campground, and then we drove all the way here. So then we stayed in a hotel for a week while we were looking for a place to stay. Found a house. Right. And then we started looking for property, and it was during, I got here around Christmas time, like the 22nd, and we got a place right after Christmas. So I stayed in Christmas in a hotel over Christmas, which was whatever. So we started looking for property. It was really tricky out here. It's like they have this thing called ejido, which is it's like land that you buy, but it's not as expensive because it's like a government program in which like little towns called pueblos, they are like, then they're like the governorship of it. So like, but it's a community where everyone like plants and gardens, but you can buy land and you can keep it for like 40 years or something like that, but it's like half the price at the time. So we found one. It was, I think, 15 hectares. So a hectare is 2.5 acres. And it was 35,000 pesos. 20,000 pesos is $1,000. So like $1,750 a hectare. So half of that,
that's not bad.
Plus a little for an egg. It's good price. Right. But so my ex-wife said, we gotta get it. And that night we're standing in the apartment, standing there, I'm having a beer, she's talking, and I looked down between my feet and a damn scorpion was there, and a dinner jumped and hit my head on the ceiling because it scared me so bad. But my daughter found one first and bought a refrigerator, and she's playing in the box. She's 5. She's playing in the refrigerator box, and I'm dragging her around. And she like runs out, like, what? She's daddy, there's something in there. I look in there, and there's a freaking scorpion. That's the first time I've seen one of those. They're not deadly here, but they will hurt. As far as I know, if they sting you, like, you get like a numb tongue, and it hurts like a bee sting for like 4 hours, but they're not like deadly venomous. So anyhow, so we found this taxi driver who was trying to help us out, but they're also sketchy. It's a lot of sketchiness down here. You have to kind of get lucky in a lot of senses. So we said no to that place, and he goes, okay, because it's a ejido, I found a private one. There was another one, I think it was 20 hectares for 60,000 a hectare. We were like, well, we can't afford all that, but what if we take, say, 4? And then he was like, okay. Right. So we looked, and then they started like pressuring us on the paperwork. So we're like, and then they started going, well, if you give us 70% up front. So like a lot of BS. So we're looking around. We found another guy trying to help us, and it was like completely outrageous. The price was like triple the price. I was like, this is. And then my neighbor of this house, this housing place we were living at, it looked like Miami actually. It's a really nice area of this town. And we came back. My ex-wife at the time was kind of like, being cordial with him and stuff. I didn't speak any Spanish at the time. And he's like, oh, where are you guys coming back from? We're like, yeah, we're out looking for property. He's like, you're looking for property? He's like, oh, don't do this, don't do that. It's like, look, we already ran through all that, and we know not to do that now. He goes, okay, I'll look for you. He called us back in 3 days. I got you something. And he's like, okay, so let's go out. And, on Saturday, 5 in the morning, we meet there. He had a little Ford Ranger, like the same year, well, different, like 1 year newer than I guess 2006. I got 2005. A little Ranger we rode out there. It's about a half hour outside of town, which is perfect for me. Right. And we meet this dude in front of it's like a beach community, but it's just a place of reference so we can know where to meet. Right. So we followed him, and he pulls up to this farm, and it's him his wife, this guy's wife, the two people we were with. So the husband and the wife are the people next door who were trying to help us out.
Right.
And their two children. Well, actually, his daughter wasn't there at the time. So his one boy, he was like 12 at the time.
Right.
And like sheep there and chickens, and there's a dog. They ended up killing a bunch of chickens. They had to get rid of it. And a horse running around free. I was like, and then my ex-wife was like, this is cool. This is what we want. I was like, yeah, this is exactly what we want. And she goes, okay, I got two parcels. I got one here that's attached to this piece that we wanted to cut and divide and sell it. And there's another one way in the back. And my ex-wife's like, let's go way in the back. And I was like, let's look at both first and choose. So we went to the first one that you can walk to. It's only maybe a 10-minute walk. And it was okay, this is kind of where the line is, and this is your stuff. And it kind of goes up over a hill, and it keeps going. It's plano, which means it's flat on the other side. And I've heard that before, and it doesn't mean it's flat here. But then we got over there, and it was like really flat. So it's like all of it. I ended up buying it. I didn't get the second one because it's too far back and it gets muddy back there. It'd be impossible to get back in the rainy season, which is the ending right around now, which is like the hurricane season, rainy seasons. And so it's 4 hectares, which is 10 acres. So it's 4 times 2.5. That's 10 acres.
Right.
And I got a really good price on it. And a year and a half to get the paperwork done because it's just it's a pain in the butt.
Right.
So we would buy this parcel. It used to be his parcel for his sheep. So he would like fence it off and keep his sheep over. He had a sheep going. And we bought it and we started clearing it so I can clear a road into it. And it's just, you guys don't understand how spoiled we are in the States. Maybe Southern Florida, you guys, Louisiana, where it gets really muggy and like you just stink and you're sweating. It's like that, but like I'd imagine it's more because it's farther south, more direct sun. So you can maybe work for 10 minutes and you guys sit for 15 in the shade, and the shade isn't much cooler. I mean, it's most of the year between 95 and 100 down here. And like right now it's nice. It's like 86, 87 degrees. And I'm out there working on the roof like, yeah, this is fine. I could do this. So we cut into this land. It took us a couple weeks. And then, we're waiting for the paperwork. We have a year lease on the house. Right. And I was like, I got to start making moves because we got to get out of here because we can't afford this place anymore. And she was like, okay. And I was like, we can do this contract where it's a pre-contract saying they have to sell it to us once the paperwork is going. So we kind of covered ourselves. There's a legality that we took. We bought this place. We paid for it. We got all the paperwork. It just wasn't transferred over. And so we get it, and I decide where we're going to put this place. It's kind of in a bowl. So we didn't get we didn't want any cell signal. We didn't want any radio signal. And it's kind of like if it gets really windy because this hurricane place down here. We're kind of lucky where we are. We don't get it directly. Normally, it's hurricanes start in the Gulf, and they might rub against us, like the one that just hit Florida recently, kind of went past us. We got some wind and a little bit of rain, but it wasn't bad at all. And then it was barely, and that's on the other side of the peninsula. So, so I built it in this little hole. I had to like clean it out. And when I say you have to clear into the property, it's not like, moss-filled trees, dude. It's like thorny trees and grass. I'm 6'3", and it's another 1.5 2 foot. It's like 8 foot tall grass. So I'm out there with a machete, and this is muscle here. There's a muscle here I'm not used to using. That shit hurt me, dude, for 3 months, and I ain't lying. And I met the guy across the street from me, and where I was renting the house, and he's a doctor. He's a pediatrician. He spoke good English, and he's like, he's like, yeah, you just got tennis elbow. And I was like, that's what that shit is. It hurts. And here's the thing: you can cut it in the rainy season, and if you cut it, say you cut your grass, for example, you cut your grass rainy season, you cut it on a Saturday. By Wednesday, you got to cut it again. It's ridiculous. It grows a half inch to an inch a day, easy. It's
I
crazy.
believe it.
And I bought a push mower. Remember the old school push mowers from the 50s? That's why I was getting I didn't want anything, because I was thinking I was going out to this farm. I don't want anything that had to depend on electricity or anything. I'll just use a push mower. But trust me, the machete is the only thing that you need pretty much, and a shovel, chainsaw, stuff like that. I built this house.
Have you considered using a hand sickle?
We have those, but it really doesn't do much. It really doesn't do much. I actually have one of those. I have a little handsaw or a hand sickle. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, dude, that's not gonna be nothing.
Well, I mean, that way you
That's
could
some.
just like
That's some.
grab the clump of stuff, then take your sickle and be like, instead of, yeah.
Well, what you do is what they do here is what I started doing is you cut yourself a wire and you just crumple together and you take the machete. You never hit a machete at a 90. Like the grass is growing, you don't hit it at a 90. You hit it like a 45. So it kind of there's resistance in the plant to cut back against it the hard way too. I started watching them. I was like, oh, okay. So you just kind of crumple it, but it's a lot of work.
It sounds
I started
like
building this. Started building this wooden cabin. In the meantime, I got this solar guy online. He's from Holland. He's now my boss and my friend. He just came by and paid me for the week.
convenient.
Yeah, in cash. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And that'll work. And, so I'm clearing this stuff out. It's a pain in the butt. It takes me a month and a half to build like a 12-foot by 8-foot cabin, basically. 3 meters by 4 meters, so 12 by 16. Excuse me. And okay. I think the ladies here. Someone just opened the door. And it's nothing special. I actually took some logs, peeled them, put some tar on them because there's a lot of termites here. Dug them in the ground about as far as I can go, which is 60 centimeters, 2 feet, 2.5 feet. As far as I can get them down. I want to go down 4, but I couldn't. Right. It's hard rock. It's limestone here. And then I set it up and squared and everything, and I built this little cabin, and I put a metal roof on it and put some concrete floor in it. Got a little sitting area. On Christmas, the day after Christmas in 2020, I get solar out there so I can bring in the freezers in and all the food we had. I set that up because our contract ended on the 29th, if you remember. And so the first night I stayed out there by myself. And that was just mosquito heaven. And I realized I got to take some expanding foam and hit all the places I didn't get. I slept in my truck because I don't know well. So tall guy. So we're out there for a couple months. I actually got some mosquito netting up. I put an addition on. And, I got the hammock hanging for my daughter. I got the hammock hanging for me. And this is after me and the wife split up. Right around that time, we split up too. It was weird. So everything changed in my life. Moving from Germany, everything. And so we're out there. And yes. How was that looking that night? I can't remember where I was. Okay, it was 3 different incidences. 4. So the first incident I had, me and the daughter made a little fire pit with rocks, and then we had some marshmallows, and we're out there just trying to get her used to being out in the night. And I just was sitting there, and we're talking, and hey, Daddy, what's some? I always want to put more sticks on to make the fire bigger. Oh yeah, go for it. Just be careful. Got thorns in them. And I just was sitting there, and a freaking rock got thrown at us. And this place, to give you a reference, guys, it's 2 kilometers or so, about 1.5 miles away from the way the bird's eye goes from the Gulf of Mexico. That's pretty cool. It's really close to the Gulf. I mean, I could be on the beach in 10 minutes because I got to go out. It takes a while to get the property and then go down the road. Nice. And there's a little beach there. It's not really a beachy area. It's more of a rocky area. But if you go to the north, it's all swamp. There's a city, and then in the south, it's more beachy, rocky, and I'm in the south, so we got lucky on that too.
No doubt.
So this rock is thrown. I'm like, all right, that's weird. It was kind of off to the side. You can hear it just hit all the leaves. There's nothing back there. I should be throwing any rocks. We do have jaguars back there as well. We got pythons, we got tarantulas, we got scorpions and snakes, all different kinds of snakes. There's coral snakes, there's rattlesnakes, and there's another one called
Fer-de-lance?
No, it's I can't think. There's a Mayan name for it. I think it's called Wopuch. Yeah, it's like a black snake with a little white hair on the front. It's called a Wopuch. So they teach you a lot of. The thing is, this part of Mexico, it's mixed Spanish and Mayan. There's still Mayan towns here that people don't speak Spanish in.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was on a job site the other day, and I realized that I'm out working. These 3 guys are making this pool, and I'm running some electrical lines, and they started speaking. I was like, I was just concentrating on what I'm doing. I turn around, I go, and I said in Spanish, "What do you guys? What is it you're talking?" They were speaking Mayan with each other. It's pretty wild, dude. So that's where I am. So another thing you guys got to realize too, there's Mayan ruins throughout the forest, dude.
Hmm.
It's Mayan ruins throughout the forest. I may or may not actually have some on my property. May or not. I'm not sure. Maybe. I can either confirm or deny. Um,
So should I
so
send you
there's
some like spray paint down there so you can like tag it?
no. Do that. I would never do that.
Why not?
I have
Spruce the
respect
place
for
up a
everyone's.
little.
Yeah. So should I also go by your church and spray paint like a smiley face on the door, man? No, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, come on now.
I would
That's a little bit
never. I would never
extreme.
do that.
I'm just
It's
saying,
not. It's the
like,
same.
no. Like they had black hair. Just give them some black hair on their little faces. You know, I'm not saying draw a mustache. I mean, just
Who?
you know,
Who am I spray painting? Who am I spray
if there's like
painting?
a face out there, give
Oh no!
black hair,
There's a
round
face
face.
out.
I assume.
No,
You know, just
it's
restore
not
it.
like
That's what I'm
that.
trying to say.
It's
Don't don't.
what I've found are two circles.
Oh, okay.
Good, not so good. So like circles. So it is on
Mhm.
my property. There's a ridge line. Not on my property. It's the property next to me. There's a
Okay.
ridge line, and then so it goes left and right. It's flat, kind of maybe I don't know, maybe 20 yards wide flat, but it's a ridge line that constantly goes down. It's got some points on it, and there's one spot it actually gets cut, and there's a circle. And in the past, it was probably cleared, and you can see all the way down this side, all the way down the front, and all the way down to the right, and that's there. There's also another spot
Right.
that's really weird too. It's like flat on top of a hill, but it makes this shape. So the hills go up, and then it makes like this shape, and then it's flat again, and then it's maybe I don't know 20 yards in between the flatness, and it's maybe 50, 60 yards wide. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe for sports or something. I'm not sure. It's a weird area. It doesn't seem what's the word? Geography? Not let's see,
Geographically?
geography, geographical.
Mhm.
Maybe that's not the word. Possible.
It
It doesn't
sounds
seem right to
like
me.
you just described a like like over the land-based aqueduct or something to me. Oh.
It's no, I don't think it would be that. I don't think it would be that. I don't think they actually they got their water from like wells mostly. Mine got the
Oh,
water
okay.
from either wells or cenotes.
Right.
Geometrically? No, it's not geometrically. Geographically. Yes. Thank you, Little Twisted. Geographically is the word I'm looking for.
Right.
Maybe you said that.
Words equal hard.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing. So this rock is from like, you know, the hell is this? I
Mhm.
didn't want to freak my daughter out. You know, I don't want her. She's little. She's like, I think at that time she was 6.
Right.
So yeah, it's a year in, 5, 6. Yeah, that makes sense. And
Mhm.
I'm like, hey, baby, you know, daddy's getting tired. Let's go lay down. Let's put this fire out. You know, she's okay.
Mhm.
We go to sleep. And then a little later, so I built this extension. So it's like off to the side, it's a little bigger. And then in there, I hung my hammock. That way, you know, me and the ex have a, you know, she sleeps inside, I'm outside, everything's cool. And then my daughter, she wants to be with me, which is perfect. That's the way I like it.
Mhm.
I love my little girl. And so her hammock is like at a different spot than mine is. It's kind of like maybe 10 feet in front of me, but off to the left around the corner. I can still see her, but it's off a little bit.
Mhm.
And one night this is okay. The one before that, excuse me, it's a time thing. This is the third incident I started. The second incident is that our hammocks will cross. So she slept here, I slept here,
Mhm.
and kitchen. And I go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I lay back down, and I only sleep in hammocks now. Very rarely do I sleep in beds. It's better for my back, and I sleep better. They're great. If I remember,
Oh yeah.
yeah, they're awesome. Not the ones that you think the beach ones with the flat, like Tom and Jerry with 2 flats on it. It's more like Avatar kind of like where you like wraps around you and you just kind of sit in it. You get in that straight because you sit diagonally from one side, and if you want to lay the other side of your body, you go the other diagonal. So you get used to it after a while. I've never fell out of one ever because it's kind of
hammock,
hard
yeah.
to do. Actually, it's easier. Yeah, it's easier to fall out of a bed, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, I agree. I've
And
got one in the backyard. I love them.
yeah, they're great.
Mhm.
And yeah, so we're laying there, and I go to the bathroom, and I'm trying to go back to sleep. I'm a little foggy, and I'm just about to fall asleep. I think. and I hear she just came back from wherever she was. I just hear the snake playing in my left ear, like right upon it, like this whisper, and I was like this, and it kind of freaked me out. I could kind of feel the breath on my ear. You know what I mean? I'm like, I had this threw a punch, just out of like instinct.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah.
There was nothing. Yeah, and there was nothing there, and so I'm like, okay, that's freaking weird, and I don't have nothing to do with it. I just kind of put out, like, in my head, like, I'm not here to bother you. Leave me and my family alone, and everything will be good. I'm not here to bother you. I'm a good person. And it kind of just went away. And so maybe then 6 months later, after I build the extension on, I'm laying there. I go to bed. Once again, I go to bed. I wake up, and I'm laying in there, and I kind of look over to see my daughter, to see if she's sleeping. She's out. And I look above her on the ceiling. There's like this circle. It's spherical shape, just a circle flat on the metal roof. And it was like maybe the bluish and white at the same time. I think Robert Prevo from the Monsters podcast said it best, because when I told him on his show, he said, "Oh, it's kind of like light was reflecting off water." That's perfect.
Yeah.
Like if you reflect light off water and use it as like a mirror, it's what it looks like.
Yeah.
On the ceiling. And I was just, my first instinct is to be like, where's this coming from? So I go to look for the source, like it's a flashlight or someone's messing around. I don't know. I know my ex-wife's out. I know my daughter's sleeping. It's not me. So I'm like, what is this? So I go to look, and I don't see any source. Look down below her, because it's up above her. It's right above her, kind of like literally whatever, 4 or 5 feet above her. And I look down, there's nothing there. And I look back up, and it's not there anymore. And I was like, all right, that's weird. Okay. So nothing happened. I checked on her. I think that was also the same. I'm not trying to be like Daniel Boone, cool guy here, but I wanted to go to the bathroom, and there was a snake in there eating ants, because there's ants here. Dude, so many times that we'll be chilling, when I first moved here, and there's like the line of like marching ants, and they'll run into your house and climb up over it and then keep going. And then me and my daughter got out there with a flip flop and fly swatters and some bug spray.
Just go to town.
So sometimes there's ants in there. Yeah. I mean, a lot of ants.
Oh yeah.
There's one here that goes on. It has a symbiotic relationship with this one plant that has like, it looks like kind of like devil horns, but it's like a plant with 2 thorns, and they're very thick, kind of like.
Yeah. And
if you hit that thing, and the ants will jump out on you. If they bite you, you can cancel Christmas. I had one time I hit it, came on my shoulder, and I was smacking myself. It hurts. Yeah. I didn't think it was a poison snake. It didn't have the white head. And it didn't have the colors or the patterns that I was, because I did some research. But I can't have a snake just hanging around like within 10 feet of me while I'm trying to sleep in a hammock. This isn't cool. So I just killed it with a machete, and threw it out the next day. I was like, I killed it with a machete, left it on the floor, and then cleaned it up the next day. It's 3 in the morning. I'm sleepy. I see that light. Nothing happens. Blah blah blah. So then another time, I'm still laying in the same area. Like I said, I'm off. Like, I'm like, where's she at? Like, I'm here and she's here. So it's supposed to be like the dining room type area that we still haven't actually poured the concrete floor. So it's like a dirt floor with like outdoor carpet on it. Everything. Good job. A house, my wife, car, 30 days paid vacation, Christmas bonus, summer bonus. I'm talking good money to get away from that liberty of speech, freedom to have a weapon, freedom to protect myself, freedom of religion, all those things and more. So I don't have all the money I need. I'm still working on it. Hopefully my podcast does take off eventually. The Eye of Jupiter, by the way.
Like and subscribe, folks.
So I'm laying there. What? Yes, the Eye of Jupiter podcast. Thank you. I'm on my way to 1,000 at that 938, 39. starting
Ooh.
it's dude. Like when it hit 750, it was like slow. Like I started with 550 when we split the pod. I got to keep the YouTube channel, and then it took me forever to get to like 750. And then once I got there, it started like I'm like, whoa, this is wild. And I think being on shows like yourself as well as Naturals and others have been great. Guys like you and having their really cool discussions. Like I was telling you guys the other day when I was stoned, when I listened to it again, because you get a different perspective. And I definitely feel the help. I do see the help. I think someone went on X the other day and posted my pod, and I got like something like 10 or 15 subs just from that. That was wild. I don't remember if it was you, Denise. I can't remember who it was. So I'm laying there, and I go to the bathroom. It's always 3 o'clock in the morning, and so there's a wall. It's a vertical wall this time, and I'm seeing this light. Right, I just look over it. What is that? I see this. Just where it's coming from. And I once again when I look back, it was gone. So I guess I got to learn that bit. I haven't been out there in a while. I don't stay out there anymore. I stay here, and then I pick my daughter up on the weekend. She's trick or treating right now, like I was telling you, and agreeing with her mom. So I lay back down, and then this was the wildest one, dude. So I'm there. This like I have mosquito netting all the way around me, inside and out. Everything's foamed up because mosquitoes here will literally eat your life. Oh, they'll eat your life. Yes, they will. And there's about 5 different types, and the yellow ones carry malaria. Oh, oh, look at Jim. Hey, let's have a cognac by the fire there, buddy.
We were talking about cabins. I was like, oh wait, I've got one of those backgrounds. Let's keep setting the mood. Carry on. Sorry, don't worry about me.
Yeah, okay. I can't change my background anymore. You have to deal with the mushrooms, but it seems to be my thing. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm laying in there, and so it's screened it all around me. So about maybe 3 foot behind me is where then the screen ends, and then the rest of the property goes. And I would say every bit of, I don't know, maybe 40 feet behind me, I hear this voice to the left side once again, not the right, the left side. That's important. Start talking, and it's undistinguishable what's being said. So it's not Spanish because I know how it sounds or the rhythm and the syntax of it. It's not English, of course. It's not German because I also speak German. So I don't know if it was Mayan or not. It's it was a female voice. Oh, dude, I got a plan. I got another plan in motion. Once we get off here, I'm gonna show you my next step. I already got some cool stuff lined up. Yeah, dude, I got this guy. He's got stories for days. And yeah, dude, it's good stuff. So I'm like, what is that? And so, give you and your fellow Christians some credence. This is what's interesting about it. I am not a Christian, as you know. Believer in God, I don't pick a particular. It's just I have faith in God because it's a personal connection with me.
Right.
And I mean, I have spoken with, I've had conversations with, I've had those moments of like, I get it. Oh, that's what this is. All right, cool. Like this deep connection. But on that day, it was such a scary thing to me that I actually had to drop the J-Man's name, dude. And it came from a place of love. It came from a place of respect. It came from a place of respect and love. And I said, in the name of Jesus Christ, you are not allowed to bother, hurt, or do anything to my family while we're here. We're here to enhance the land. We're here to make the land better. And we're not, and Jesus, you are not allowed to bother us. And then ever since then, nothing. Also, went on top of the hill to that place that may or may not exist and did the same thing, but in my head. And ever since then, dude, no problems. At least as far as I know. And I asked my daughter, I like, you let your dad know if anything happens out there. Because she knows what I do on the podcast, but I don't tell her everything. Of course, she's 6. Be a kid. No, she's 8 now. Excuse me. Be a kid. Go run around. And damn, Jim, you got any Barry White music you can play in the background here, buddy? I'm getting a little.
Yeah, one second.
That's it.
Sorry.
That's gonna make me go to sleep, dude.
You know, I find it. I
I mean,
find it very. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry.
no, please, buddy, please. I've been
All
talking.
right. So, no, yeah, I want to expound on that because that's so interesting. Like a couple things. Like one, it's interesting that despite the fact that it's talking in some unknown language, and I presume you're probably speaking to it in English, right?
Yes, yes,
Right. So I find it one interesting that despite the language barrier, like if we just want to look at surface layer stuff first, that calling on the name of Jesus worked. If someone's going to be like, why
good.
would some Middle Eastern name work? Well, it does, right? Why?
Yeah,
Something
I
that
don't know,
really,
man.
I mean, if
It's a,
if you want to just like,
it's something I picked from something I picked up from Daryl Denton. He was telling me that Scott Carpenter
yeah,
had that issue of like the Bigfoot like harassing him at his house, and he what's the word? I can never remember the word. I can't think of the word. He like banished them, and he
oh,
went to the
rebuke,
cardinal points, and then rebuked. Thank you, sir.
yeah,
And he rebuked them, and I just remember that
hmm
specifically because I started doing the podcast at that time and had Daryl Denton on.
hmm
He said that he did that, and I was like, well, let's see if that works. And I just did it immediately. Kind of stood my ground and said, this is what it is. And like I
hmm
said, I think I think I don't know. It's like I don't know what that means, Jim.
I do, but carry on.
But yeah, I know you know what it means, Jim.
I'm
But I don't know
going
what it
there
means for
next. You're
me, Jim.
good.
And that's okay. Okay, go ahead, buddy. Then you go ahead and take the reins. Here you go.
Okay. So here's the other interesting thing. Let's zoom in a little bit, right? So your name is the one that's on this property, deed, lease, contract, what
No,
have you, right?
no, it's not. No.
Okay, but where you are, you own it now,
Well,
right?
it's under my ex-wife's name. I'm not a Mexican citizen, therefore I
Mm,
can't own property legally. There's a way of
okay.
doing it, but it costs a lot more money. You have to go to like a bank trust or some shit,
Uh,
and it's just something I can't afford at the moment.
okay. Well, in that case, there's another line of thought that I could go down, but yeah, not the most PC thing in the world. But either way, what I'm trying to say is legal dominion. You know, you, and by extension, your ex, you guys are connected. Legally speaking, you guys are the ones that have the authority in that area, right?
Yes, yes,
Right. Well, as above, so below. Everything that's in
right,
that spiritual plane follows by the exact same rules, man. That's just how it is.
right.
So by you taking authority and being like, "Hey, not cool. We're not playing this game. And just in case you guys aren't going to take me seriously, I'm going to call on the big J's name so that you guys know you mean it or that I mean it." You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't like I'm trying to pull out like the nuke of names. It just seemed right. It felt right.
Right.
You understand
Right.
what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh no.
It's kind
Trust
of
me.
like
I get that.
okay, another word. A good word would be like divine intervention, maybe like in my
Sure.
head. And
Sure.
also wanted to see. No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't. I didn't conceptualize it in my head. I want to see if this works. I was just like, and it was just there, and I was like, oh, there you go, and it worked.
Yeah. Yeah. You automatically, without thinking, went to it. That's cool, man. That's awesome. I respect the heck out of that.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. There's many roads to Rome. Maybe I'm on the scenic route. Who knows?
You know, I hear in Rome they got some really pretty like lilacs and roses. Sometimes it's good to, you know, sniff them. I get it. It's all right. We'll get you there.
There's many ways to get to your spirituality. It's people always
Sure.
think it's either by hook or crook, family or whatever it is.
Right.
But it worked, so it
Mhm.
definitely. And then I told my lady here, and she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah." She's like,
Yeah.
"Of course," She's like, "Of course it was." I was like, "Okay, fair enough."
Yeah.
So I tell some of my Mexican coworkers that do
Mhm.
construction with me about this story, And they were just like, yeah, that's probably an Alux. So I think it's spelled Allux, or multiple. That is Alucius. So Alucius is it's kind of it's a cherub type fae slash homunculus kind of thing, where the Mayans, to protect their land from evil, they call it malos vientos or mal vientos, something like that, like bad winds, which is another word. I tried to make a joke out of it recently. Malos vientos is this, and for me I said it's when I fart, so that's bad wind. So I was just trying to make a joke, and I said, I was like, hey, trust me, if I eat pork and beans after dinner and you're walking up the steps behind me, you're gonna have a bad day. And
no doubt,
it didn't kill. It's funny in my head. I think it was the timing thing, or they didn't understand me. One of the two. Anyhow, so they were, there's this thing. So they would do that. There's a lot of like Mayan lore and witchcraft and things like that here. And and so they would take these like little spirits and like to protect their land, and they used like corn and mud and maybe I can't remember all the stuff. I had some guy on a long time ago. I might have one again who explained me. It's a 7-day thing they do, and then it's at the 7th day, then like this little mud statue that they make, which the homunculus factor in the whole thing kind of disappears, and a lot of people believe it. I've heard stories here. I'll say it's not that bad. I shit you not. This is one of the stories. I'll have him say it in Spanish. That way you get to meet the guy. He's the guy I work with. His name is Humberto. He's had a lot of interesting experiences. But he was talking about I think it was his brother or his uncle. I can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was his brother. I'll find out again. I asked him recently. I can't remember. But he was out there in his yard, and there's a certain part of the city where the plots of land are big. And they were, smoking cigarettes, drinking some beer, like on a Friday night. They had like there's a lot of caves down here. That's also where the mal vientos are, where the bad winds are. People go in there and they come out with stutters. They come out with they come out where they don't talk for the rest of their lives. They come out with fevers, all kind of interesting stuff. Very crazy stuff. And they were like, hey, this is a thing that they do here. And supposedly I've heard it from multiple sources. Hey, take a little glass of beer, set it on that stump over there, and put a cigarette out there, and they'll come and get it. He's like, yeah, get out of here. And he did it. And this little creature, according to this guy's uncle, this is third hand, came out, drank the beer, smoked a cigarette. The dude, his friend, freaked the hell out, whatever, and never went back to the property again. So these things, and if you go here, you can ask anybody. It's kind of like if there's a little guy at the work site, like a little shorter guy, you go, hey, where's the Alusha? It's like commonplace here. It's like it's normal. It's kind of like fairies or trolls in America, but even more common. Excuse me. It's a commonality within culture here. But I even think there's a bridge. They built a highway between Cancun and it's Playa del Carmen, I think. Can't remember. It's one of those beaches, like another area. Tulum is an area down there where a lot of people go to. It's a Mayan castle sitting around the edge of the water on the Caribbean side. Beautiful. Hey, you guys want some tamales, some flat tamales? That was the guy right there for you. He sells pizza and tamales. I call him the tamales.
Yes, please.
But he rides a bike, and it sounds like a ghost coming up, pizza, pizza. And I call him the pizza ghost. And when he doesn't show up, I know he's sick. It's every day. The pizza ghost. Awesome. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
That's awesome.
And there's a bunch of stuff. There's ice cream guys, everything. And what was I talking about? Sorry, I ran off track.
Alush? Bridges?
Yeah, Alush's. Yes, thank you. So there's this highway between these two places, and it's an overpass. And for some reason, they tried to build this overpass on one side, and it kept either collapsing, or like a machine would fail, or it was like 4 times they tried to build this thing. So they went to the local community. They go, "Do you know anything that this is weird that our stuff is like, we know what we're doing. We built this before." They were like, "Yeah, it's a Lucius thing. You have to build a little shrine for them and tell them So they literally underneath the overpass, they built a shrine. It's maybe 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet in the air, the shrine. They built the overpass, everything was fine. Then recently they took it down, the damn bridge collapsed again. It's some real deal stuff here. So they're very freaky. I think there's some other people that I know who's had some run-ins with them. I had a chiropractor who said he seen one on the street one time. It's very, very common here.
Yeah. Well, I think there's two interesting takeaways from that. Like, one, the whole appeasement issue I find interesting, because what you're doing, or not you necessarily, but what they're doing is offering a sacrifice, and like, the thing to think about with that is, it's not always, I'm gonna go out and grab my nicest sheep and do the deed. No. But what you're doing is literally sacrificing your finances to give an offering to them. You're buying the alcohol, you're buying the tobacco, you're buying / paying for people to construct an architecture shrine. As soon as you take that away, they get upset about that. I find that very interesting. Very interesting.
It's a true story. It's a true. If I find the article, it might be in Spanish because you can see the picture, or maybe I'll find it and find a translation of it. There was also, when they're building the train Maya here, they built the train all the cities through here. So when people like land in Cancun, they on a train to go to different parts of the peninsula, and it's very nice, very safe, it's air conditioned. And there was this one part where they were clearing it out, and it was this thing in the tree with the glowing eyes looking down, and there's a picture of it online. And they go, "That's an illusion." So I'm like, "That don't look like."
I've seen that. I remember that. Yeah. I've seen this. It was very interesting.
With glowing eyes, yeah, like the white eyes. Yeah. A lot of witches here too. That's called the famous one is called the Ishtabai. It's X-A-T. I can't do it. It's got a lot. The language has a lot of X's in it. And then I was trying to explain, because I had this dude talking about the Bell Witch the other day on my show, which will be coming up soon. Interesting stuff. Oof. And that's like there's a long story. It was like a pretty sister also, but one turns out to be a witch, and it's like this thing where like drunks see it. It's like a beautiful woman with long black hair, and she's like, "Hey, you want me to buy you some beer?" And then they turn away and they turn back, and it's like a hag with like a horse leg and a chicken leg. It's very famous. Actually, I did my stand-up in a bar called the Ishtabai. So it's super woven in the culture, because we pretty soon we're gonna have to deal with Muertas, which is Catholicism mixed with Mexican culture. So there's a lot of death around it, and family and life. It's kind of interesting. I'm not really into it. My lady is. She's eventually wants to when we get a bigger place, and we'll shrine in the corner, because that's what they do here. I was like, long as they in my room, I don't care. You do your thing, and I'll do my thing. But it's a very interesting place, and I'll just tell you, like, I go to work sites, and I start meeting these, Mexican gentlemen, and I'm like the only American worker down here doing construction. Everyone else is old or retired behind gated fence. Not me. I'm out here with the dudes, soaking in the culture, joking around with them, eating the food, learning things. And I start, they're like, through time, I show them I have this podcast, but I can't explain anything to them because it's all in English. And I just go, "You have any stories about, X, Y, and Z?" And they start telling me stories. And that's, it's not getting their permission, recording them, I'll speak in Spanish, they speak in Spanish, and then I'm going to go ahead and subtitle at the bottom so you guys get real story of some real stuff, that this place is spooky.
Right. Well, just as a thought, like, I want to vomit this out before I lose track of it too far. But I did some surface investigation on this Aloosh stuff, right? And one thing that was very interesting to me that I saw on that subject was how essentially they would be created kind of like the homunculus method, right? In order to guard and take care of their corn plot for I think it was 20 years or something like that. And if you don't sacrifice to them or whatever, they get ornery and they start messing around with your home, right?
Yes.
So what's interesting to me, okay, so like, all right, so how you were describing on that property, the whole geological feature, and I said it reminded me of like an aqueduct.
Yeah, I got what you're
What?
saying.
Yeah, what if that's not an aqueduct, but what's irrigation? Like if you're irrigating a field back in Mayan times, obviously, because it's grown up, but you're doing it large. What if one of those things was hanging around from them because there ain't been no corn and God knows how long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to the neighbor that I bought the property from. He's a Calvinist, super religious,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
sweetest man in the world, though. Sweetest man in the world. I love this guy. He's great. His name is his name is Gerardo, which is Gerald, but I call him Jerry, and I'm Tom. So together we're Tom and Jerry. So that makes him.
Oh, cool.
He's very happy with that. He doesn't like. There's certain words he doesn't allow me to say. You know what I mean? Like little slightly. They're very like you go there and you barbecue with them. They're always playing, you know, they got their Jesus music going on. They're super religious. They have Bible readings and sweet Christian people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just so, do you believe in Lucius? I believe in Lucius. He goes, nope. I'm like,
What?
he's like, no, I don't believe in him. I'm like, yeah. It's just, there's some people like that. You know how it is. If you
Yes, I do, unfortunately.
if you confront them with certain uncomfortabilities that don't fit into a certain worldview, that some people have, and they just see it in, you know, whatever way it is, sweet as it may be, with all respect from that. You know, it's just like the same thing with what happened with the crap scenes. You know what I mean? You tell people and they're experiencing issues, or, you know, loved ones are having issues, still can't face the reality that it was insane that what happened, you know. So you kind of just like I always just try to be loving towards their point of view and not take the higher ground. That's a long way of looking at it. Just be fair. You know what I mean? And exhibit I am, but in the right way. In the right way. And I always offer him help. Hey, if you need help, give me a call. If you need this, give me a call. And he's the same way. He's like, you need me for anything? You break down out there, I'll pull you out. I go, well, not in the wet season, but it's gonna be hard for you. But sure, I would definitely call him. He's a fantastic guy. He's a fantastic man.
Right. Well, that's great, man. That's awesome.
I got lucky. I got very lucky. I mean, other than the part of, you know, the ex-wife thing, I just that definitely threw a monkey wrench into my world. But through that, I got to meet, you know, another amazing person who is very lovely and sweet. Love you. She's over here in a hammock looking at her phone because she's tired. She went
over there.
She's getting she's over here, and she's working on getting her lawyer's license. He said, no, you gotta go the other way.
Oh, nice.
You gotta go the opposite way. Then you'll say, oh, okay. And she also did that thing I was saying about where she was singing, helping some family out. So she's a little tired.
Right.
So, you know, that's life for you, though. You got to kind of roll with it a little bit. But it does help when you, because I used to be an atheist for a long time. I think you know that. And it kind of helps knowing it's a different kind of know. There's a scientific know, and then there's the know that's deep within. And that one kind of trumps a lot of things for me. But you know me, I can speak with you. And then I can speak with somebody who's, you know, scientifically based, and I can go both ways. So whatever the hell I am, like when I had that discussion with you the other day, when we were talking about how to make the world a better place, and through this, you know, we were talking about the hurricanes and all that went up and hit North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, and Northern Georgia, and all that bad stuff going on there. How do we? And I was just very interested. We're talking about the Forum of the Forbidden. So we got. You know, Jim, the Christian dude. We got Magical, who is you know, a self-professed witch. I don't know what happened to Jim. Jim disappeared.
I'm here.
And then I think he hit a button. Well, what happened to the video? What are you taking your shirt off?
Nope, I was getting ready for the game. There's a game that I like.
What game?
I want to start playing at the end, but carry on.
Okay, and then there's me, whatever I am. Somewhere's maybe more Buddhistic or something. Somewhere's in the middle. And I just love the concept that we can all say the same thing from different points of view and still be going, yep, and still reach the same point, which is like love and respect. And that's it was such a cool thing to see it through the eyes of, you know, being under the influence of cannabis and I felt like this overwhelming need to make sure that I let you guys see the way I seen it at that moment. And it was fantastic. One of the best things ever. I was like swimming, like, the guy didn't show up. Oh, I'm swimming. My next episode is, and you're like, I'm coming on, buddy. I'm coming on. And then you jumped on, and then Magical jumped on, and he had all these issues. And then it turned out to be like one of the best episodes ever. So you were like, so we're gonna do the next Formed and Forbidden on yours, Tom. That really was one. I was like, are you kidding me? That was the best one. Haha. Joke's on you, buddy.
I mean, to date,
Cool.
I think we
could do that once in a while too. We could do that once in a while. If we don't have a guest, like I'm Wednesday for now. Eventually might, you know, hit on the Friday or Saturday, make sure I don't overlap you or my other buddies, of course. Where it's comfortable for everyone, of course. People that I, you know, love, respect, and want to help. I would never cut into their stuff. You can't do it with everybody, but you know, there's some big dogs out there that we have.
Well, I mean, as far as that goes,
you know, lens.
Yeah, as far as that goes, the replay button exists for a reason, guys. Don't worry about it. Just as long as you come and hang out at some point, that's all that really matters. You know, or at least that's how I look at it.
Yeah. Try to look at it. It's weird when you look back at your like existence. You're like, I've had, you know, 20 years in the States, being a young guy and a kid and all that, and then I went to Germany for 20 years. Now I'm in Mexico. I think then you join the military. That's only like 2 to 3% of the population that do that, and then live in Germany. And then you're down. I've had such a weird life. When you stand back and you look at it from that point, but you can't stay there. You have to come back into your life and be there. And it's just, it's been very, for the lack of a better word, to use your lingo, blessed. For me, I use the word interesting. You know, it's been a very interesting existence, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. There's been hard parts,
right?
You know what I mean. I still fight with some stuff. Being a former Army soldier, I still whatever. If anybody out there knows how to fix that, so they can, you know, so I can finally get my interview, so that I can hopefully get a little bit of like help from the U.S. military, because I can't work as much as I would like to work to help support my family, which is why I do the podcast as well. Let's be honest. If it can supplement at least a little bit, that would be super helpful for me. And I want to thank you guys, Pam, Magical. It's been so far on the podcast, it's been amazing for me. And all the bad weeds are going to sort themselves out too. You're starting to see, you know, what's that thing that Rommel said? You know Rommel, right? The Desert Fox, Nazi stuff. He said, in the end, all truths will come out. So we're going to find out. There's a lot of bad seeds that you and I know about that we won't talk about, but by name. But in the end, all that comes out.
Right. Always.
Right.
Every knee.
So here's to you and me, and as well as our small family, our large family as well. All the people over there. Hi, Denise, Low Twisted. Thanks for coming on. This is what we do. You know what I mean? There's hard love too. There's times where I gotta, you know, Jim grabs me by the collar and goes, Tom, blah, blah, blah. Just joking, he never does that. But there's that too. But we always try to be nice and sweet with each other, don't we, buddy? We're always cordial. Jim's like driving between jobs, and he's like, "So what you doing?" He's bored.
I get bored driving. I'm sorry. I get really bored.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens, buddy. It don't matter, dude. You contact me at any time. If you just, you know, if I'm not working or I'm not with my daughter or whatever I'm doing, and you want to chat, you know how it is. We had it. One morning I was making pancakes. Remember that?
Yeah.
And we're just talking shit, right? And
we talked for like 2 hours that morning.
Well, actually, and she's like, "Where's the syrup, Daddy?" And you hear all the inner workings of my life, and you got to see a little bit about each other. It was cool, man. And I talked to Magical, I think Friday. I was actually at the job site, not doing anything, talking to him for like an hour.
Oh, cool.
I was like, dude, I actually have to be productive today. I got to do some stuff.
Time for
I'm sorry, Tom.
Yeah.
because he was off. You know how he works too. He's like
Yeah,
nights
yeah.
doing all this crazy jumping around like you.
Mhm.
And so that's why we have a hard time doing the forum sometimes, which I miss. But we'll get there. Hopefully this Tuesday it comes out. But that thing where it's like, you know, you guys started after I did, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
you're like, okay, does this work, Tom? And I'm giving the little bit that, or you know, Paul, there it is, Foreign and Forbidden. Or Paul, you know, Paul will be like, I've had Paul help me. Hey, Tom, come on. You know, Paul from
Oh yeah.
the Paranormal Among Us, great guy, great podcast. He just went off. If you guys missed it, he just was on, and
Yep. They're doing a
he
live
was like, "Oh, this is how
investigation.
you do. You know, how you make a what's it? Help me. What's Pam do? You do well. What's that called? Moderator. How to do that?
Yeah.
It's just a great group, and
Mhm.
this is what I wanted to start with because a lot of
Right.
people, as you know, a
Mhm.
lot of it's about sensationalism. You know what I'm
Mhm.
talking about, John. It's like
Yes, I do.
the night I almost lost my. I'm a little guilty of it too. You know, I'll do the little look up on my pictures or there's a little alien over here. But I
Right.
think that's just to grab them to pull them into the world. That
Mhm.
is what we do in this collective of awesome people, and
Right.
we try to give them hope as well as like cool stories. Yes, community for me, family. Yeah, it's a family thing, and it's just so cool that I got to run into you guys. I think you guys just like seen me, and you were like just reached out to me, and we just like hit it right off, and it's just that's to me like the coolest part of all of it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love our connection, man. I feel like you know, the different perspectives are good. It's good for people, you know. Not everything works for everybody, but you know, to each their own. I'm gonna keep
Oh,
gardening on that,
we're
but you know,
weird.
huh?
We're weird people. All three, all four of us are weird people. Pam
Oh yeah.
doesn't want to be on camera. Doesn't want to
Oh
be
yeah.
on camera. She's over there on the keyboard right now, just typing away. You know,
Mhm.
Magical has this little head thing, and he's, you know, we're all, you know, a little bad of sight. I should be wearing glasses. This episode that we're going to do about the RH blood, I actually looked into it a little bit. It's a protein that is missing. That's
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's missing, like on the
So
outside of the blood cell, is a
yeah, it's
protein.
like
This
it's a
connection
protein
is
covering.
so cool.
Mhm. So I guess we're
Right.
just gonna spill the beans on the next form of the forbidden. When we do it, guys, we are going to discuss RH negative blood types and how
Yeah. And its
interesting it
connection
is.
the connection with the paranormal. Yes.
Uh-huh.
And its connection with
Uh-huh.
the paranormal. It's great to it as well as talk a lot of smack like we're doing now. How'd you say? We're gonna chop it up with everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Well, how much time you got left? Do you want to play your games?
Oh, yeah. So, all right. So, new game, everybody. New game. Tom, you gonna play? Or is it
What
just
game?
me? What?
What games? What are you talking about? What game?
Okay. So here's the game. All right, everybody. Well, hold on. Let's see here. How do I phrase this? All right. So the game is: are the hosts wearing pants? That's the game. 1 for yes, 2 for no. You're not supposed to give it away that quickly, bruh.
I'm wearing shorts.
Uh,
It's hot down this. I don't know the game, Jim. You have to give me the rules first.
I was trying to explain it, and you just jumped the gun. All
Okay.
right. Well,
All right. Do another one, and I won't answer.
that's the game. Guess 1 or 2. That's the game. Folks out there in future YouTube land, make sure you drop a 1 or a 2 in the comment section. Tell us what you think. I might just drop a poll later on and give the answer. You know, just try to get a little bit of engagement, make it a little fun, be a little bit rebellious.
Mm.
Sans pants or
So,
no?
okay, well, we have the 26th of October. So, when's the election? The 5th, 6th?
Yeah.
So it's like
Something like
5,
that.
like 10, 11 days out. Just
Mhm.
relax, everybody. Go out. Just because you think you've done it, don't mean you've done it. Go actually put freak the ground and go do it. I can't do it
And
for you. I'm over here in a foreign country, but I'll tell you to do it because I'm a hypocrite. But it's
yes,
important. Get out there and do the right thing. Do the right thing. We
Yep.
know what the right thing is. One is best person in the world, and the other one is a corrupt corporate puppet. So you choose your poison. I've chosen mine.
and before you go and do it, put on pants.
Yes,
Yes.
pants. This episode is brought to you by PANTS. PANTS. Buy them for your mom. Buy them for your dad. Pants. Pants.
That's
That was
right.
good.
Sponsored by Levi. Are you a rugged
No
man
Levi's.
or a rugged
No cease and
female?
desist.
What? Oh,
No
okay.
cease and desist from Levi's. Thank you.
Oh. Are you okay? Wait, hold on. Brought to you by Kirkland brand jeans, the best for less, or something. I don't know. Pants. But yeah,
It's beer. All right. All right. Yeah, dude. We talk about it. So everyone said he wanted to tell me everything. I didn't know we were an hour and 20 minutes in.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
there anything
check
else
that
you
out.
want to know about my experience? I can tell you my Hatman real quick, or my poltergeist. I've also seen, since I've been here, 2 smoky apparitions. 2.
Well,
Which is
in
not
that
that
case,
exciting, but I've never seen them before. And I wasn't quite afraid of them, honestly. I wasn't afraid of them. One was at work, and one was at former podcast caster's house, his family's house, actually.
well, shoot, man, I'm down for
But that's not that
whatever.
much. But
If you want to tell a story, man, let's tell a story.
All right, so this has been said a million times, so I'm going to do the best I can. So when I was 8 years old, so my family and I, so it's my mom, my dad, my sister, and me, and I'm the oldest of the 2 by a year and a half, a year and 4 months to be exact. I'm in February of 80. She's in June of 81. And we moved in with my grandmother. She lived in a large row home in Baltimore, Maryland on 337 South Fulton Avenue. I can give you the exact address because it's one of those things that just burns in your mind because of what happened. And the reason I got into the paranormal to begin with, really, because of that shocking revelation. Not to use any type of Bible reference, but it was one of those things where you can't ignore it because it's impossible. And it's been in me forever. What was that? And then when I got here, it just came natural to me because, you're trying to find a way to, support your family. But I've always, like I said, all these things you say, oh, he's a decent podcaster or whatever. People, I like the people that enjoy what I do, which is great. That's fine. I'm not going to shy away from it, but I'm not going to lean into it either. I'm just going to be myself. But it comes from years of doing many other things. Being a musician, being on stage, over 100 times. Being a comedian, being on stage over 100 times over 10 years. And music also for 10 years. You get speaking in front of people, being the front man of a metal band, or being a comedian, you learn how to speak with people, how to read the room, how to read your audience. It's very important to read that's on. You have to read what you can talk about, what you can joke about, read the personalities, and kind of, go with it to make it as comfortable as for them, but also as enjoyable as possible for the people. And my general interest as well. I'm a little selfish in that sense, but it's awesome. And that all started from what happened in this house. So we had to move there. My dad was in between jobs, so it's a row home. So that means there's a house ready. The windows always in the front or in the back. There's a little backyard. This house, you go up the steps. It's sideways to the house is only, I don't know, 12 feet, 15 feet across. Not large, maybe 15 feet. And the steps go up. And then, so when you go up to the left is the front room. That's where my grandmother slept with her husband. And then you had to go through 2 rooms to the bathroom in the back. There's no hallways. It's just room, bathroom. So the back room, I also seen the shadow in that house too when I was 8. I forgot about that. See, when I start telling it again, other things come back, don't they, Jim? When you start, like, your
It
mind
goes that
kind of
way.
blocks a little bit of stuff that you don't realize. But I seen it in the closet when we were playing hide and seek.
Mhm.
I was in the closet. There was like light shining through the crack in the door, and the shadow passed in front of that. That was also pretty scary, and I jumped out of the closet. Not that way, Jim.
No
I
judgment.
know you're
No
quick. I know you're quick. I know you're quick with that kind of. That's your humor, not
just
that kind of humor, but being quick on the punch of that stuff, that
just
style.
just if whenever you are in question about that, if I say nothing, just read my facial expressions and you will know.
Exactly, brother. So you got to go to this front room to get to the back room before the bathroom. And in the back room is where we stayed.
Giggity.
So my
Uh-huh.
parents, they're still in their mid-30s. They don't want, to be in marital activities while we have to go to the bathroom. So they just said, we'll stay in this room with
Wrestling,
no
yes.
windows.
Mhm.
And you guys, wrestling,
Yeah.
So we shared this room, my sister and I. I was 8 and she was 7. So if you go into the room, so on the left side is the wall that separates us from the other house. There's a door that swings into the room. That's important. Swings into the room. So when you first look to the right, there's the bed. There's a space in between, and there's my bed. 2 single beds with a closet on the wall, not a closet, but a cupboard. What's the word I'm looking for? A bureau. That's another word for that. What's the word? What's the thing you put your clothes in? Cupboard?
A closet?
Closet? Not a closet. That's in the wall. Not a closet. It's built into the wall.
Shipperobe?
A wardrobe?
Wardrobe? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. One of those words. So it's a piece of furniture that you have your socks in the top row, and then you go down to your pants at the bottom.
Oh,
So we
like
have
a
those,
dresser?
and then there's the wall dresser. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I was
Dresser.
getting all
Thank you,
fancy
Pam.
with it. I didn't know it was that basic. Okay, carry on. Yeah.
Tom is slow. I'll actually type it and say it at the same time. Tom's slow.
Words equal hard. Yeah. I'm with you, buddy.
Yes.
I'm with you.
So we were, she had her side of the room, I had my side of the room. And then on that wall there was like, we had our toys a little bit. So, kind of move over a little bit to get to the bathroom. We had our shoes there. And but the thing that's interesting about it is my mother and my father were previously married. And so they both had children in those previous marriages. And my mother still had partial custody of her daughter. And she is about 5 years older than me, so that would make her 13, which is also very important in the story. I didn't know that at the time, of course. This is later reading into it. So every time she would come over, so she would come over on the weekends, so Friday and Saturday night. And every time she would come over, like, this strange shit would happen. I can't remember. It wasn't all in one night, and I don't remember which night which happened, but it started slower and got more progressively worse, I guess you would say. So it started with like, okay, it's time to go to bed. It's like 9:30, whatever. Go to bed, and we're laying in the bed, and we're still talking and joking. Yeah, kids are. And the lights would flicker off and on, and it was freaking weird, Jim. And like I said, I don't remember the exact timeline of all this, but it was just, how long has it been? 30 something years ago. Something like that. 1988, it'll be 36 years ago. And so my little sister was like, what? And she would be out of bed, downstairs, tell the parents who was Friday night, having a couple beers, listening to their Hank Williams, having a good time. And so I grew up in the city, but we were country, you know what I mean? And so they were like, yeah, your older sister is messing with you. She would then go, hey, her name, stop messing around up there, leave them alone. And she's like, I'm not doing anything. It's not me. And go to bed. So we're laying in the bed. And then, like I said, I can't remember if it was the same night. It's like 3 or 4 different occurrences, but I don't remember when they happened and which times. But then, so the lights are flickering off and on, and the shoes that I was telling you about were being thrown at us. They were coming off the floor and hitting us in the bed. And I got the sheets that are just, hitting me on the top. And they were screaming. I'm screaming. They're yelling up the steps, stop messing around. We hear the shoes are falling off the bed, hitting the floor. It's wooden floor, so you can hear it through the bottom floor into the dining room that they were in. or dining room kitchen area, and they just we're messing around. We're like, she runs down the steps. No, we're having shoes thrown at us. There's no one throwing shoes at you. Then I didn't see this. My little sister said she's seen this, and you can ask her today. Maybe one time she'll come home. No, she doesn't. If it would, it would be just like a little logo. She'll only be on camera, which I understand. You know, people being doxxed and stuff. I could be doxxed all I want. You won't find my address, and if you want to come down here, good luck.
Let me know so I can give you some care packages to take to Tom, please.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes. Like a set of headphones and my code from Google, so I can actually start getting paid.
And some more firearms, but yes.
Yes. But you can have them here. You can have them here. There's ways to get them. I got a 22. I don't know. That's not much, but it's something. It's something. I would like to have a 308. Ball that 308, a lever action 30-30, and a nice, a nice 15. That would be nice. I'd enjoy a nice 15, but they're expensive down here. And a 12, a nice pop 12. That would be cool. Mossberg, whatever. Remington 870 would be nice. I love those. Yes, I know a little bit about them. I used to be in the military.
So
I'm a bad mug. I'm a bad mug with an M16A2, dude. I'll get you at 300. I can still get you with my bad eyesight. I'll still get you. It's all about how you breathing at the bottom and don't squeeze. You squeeze it, you don't push. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's a nice one. And so because I'm listening to a thing from a buddy of mine about some of the stuff he went through, and I'm like halfway through and it's about to get juicy, but I had to jump onto the podcast with you.
Right.
Yeah. So she says she's seen. You remember Alf? I don't know if you're a little younger, but there was a show called Alf, Alien Life Form.
Yeah, the fuzzy alien that ate the cat.
Yeah, they ate the cats, and he lived with his family. She had one of the dolls, and it sat in a little high chair. And she said she looked at her one time and actually seen it walking around and dancing. I didn't see this. This is what she says. You know what I mean? But she's experienced all of it with me, and she backs me up on this, so I back her up on that. She says she's seen it. I believe her.
Right.
So after the shoes get thrown, we're freaked out, right? My little sister, she is the boss in this. My little sister, Jenny, she is amazing. The youngest one of us wasn't afraid. I was shaking in my boots, figuratively speaking. She goes down. She goes down, tells them again. They yell at her, back upstairs, stop messing around. I'm standing in the room, in the doorway. The door is coming into the room, so swings towards, if you flip it around again, swings to the left, to the adjacent wall that butts the houses together. So the door swings into the room where I'm standing, and I'm just standing there, kind of afraid and shit. And she's just, and I just said, she comes up the steps, turns the corner, heads my way, and she gets about halfway through the room, and I say, "So what did they say?" And then boom, the door slammed right in their face, like hard as, and they're yelling, "What the hell are you doing up there?" And I'm frozen. People always say there's flight or fight. But there's also frozen, guys. There's also frozen. And that's what happened to me. I froze. The scariest thing I've ever experienced other than COVID, honestly. I'd rather go through that again. I'd rather go through the door slamming in my face again, especially at the age I am now. I'm like, oh, you got me. I don't want to be scratched, though. I'm not inviting anything you're not allowed to hitchhike. Stay away. Gotta be quick, Jim. Gotta be quick.
I can't be bothered by such things no more.
Yeah, I know you have a different way of going about it, buddy. But there will be times where I will be calling upon you to do what you do for me. All right, I will be calling upon you. I promise,
brother. I'm happy to stand in the gap for you.
I know that, buddy. I know that. Love you too. So, I'm standing there shaking, and she opens the door, back to me, and she says, "Did you slam the door in my face?" And I said, like in a whimper, like, "No," and she like goes, "Okay," like. Literally has to grab me and turn me around and walk me back to the bed. And then this time, like I said, I get it mixed up. I don't know if the sheets were introduced in or later with shoes. I can't remember. My older sister goes, "Here, put the sheet on. Maybe you feel a little more comfortable." She's like, "I don't know what's going on either." She's also, screaming and freaking out. And so there's a moment at which it feels like there's wind coming or like a breeze coming under the sheets and making them ripple, but like odd, like weird. It's hard to describe. We did have the fan on, but this was not that. It's different.
Right. Right. Mm. I just want to point
Okay,
out the
I'm back.
fact. Oh, wait, never mind.
I'm back. Yeah, that wasn't
Hi,
me.
welcome back.
Hi. Yeah, so I'm laying on the bed, and there's a gap between the mattress and the walls, for mildew, like everyone does. It's about, I don't know, 6 inches, not even that 6 inches, it's like 4 inches.
Right. Right. Right.
And I'm laying there, and a hand reached up between the, comfortably, spooky wind, yes, fam, something like that. I don't know what it was. And it's around the same time, like I think the wind was going, and then or breeze, whatever, something reached up between the bed and put its hand on my chest, and I jumped out screaming. And like that's the last I remember of the whole situation. There was also lights flickering on and off in the bathroom too.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was another time I was up there with my cousins and we were playing hide and seek, and I seen that shadow in the closet. So I and later my mom said to me, she says, I don't believe you about that night, and I was probably wrong about it, but I gotta be honest with you, there is something in that room, and I don't know
Right.
what it is, but I do feel like I'm being watched. And I was like, thanks, Mom. The interesting thing too, the same house is where my grandmother lived, of course, and she was sitting on the front stoop like it did in Baltimore, and across the way, she had her friend. Can't think of her name, but missed something. And my grandmother told me like years later that this is before all this happened, that she's seen a veiled like woman with like a black veiled woman walking through the walls of the row homes. I was like, oh my god. This is the same grandmother who came to me in 2 dreams after she died, telling me repentance, which I had to look the word up. And she also told me that she was okay.
Well,
After
nice.
she was cooking on the stove on a step ladder because she was really small. She had a step ladder to cook on the stove. She's 4'8". And my whole family was there. It was a warm summer day, barbecuing in the yard. I could see my dad, my mom outside. There's people at the house, music playing like it always was. And she's cooking on the stove with a wooden spoon. And she's got a cigarette. And I walked up behind her and I actually could smell her cigarettes like you always smell on her. And I gave her a kiss on her neck and I said, hi, grandma. She says, hi, baby. I said, are you okay? She said, yeah, I'm fine. And then out of the dream. Dream went away. It wasn't like I woke up or something. Like the dream went away. And then when I woke up later, I remembered it. It was that strong. So same woman. Yeah.
Wow.
The first person to show me unconditional love. First person to show me true unconditional love was my grandmother.
Grandparents are awesome like that.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, as far as like the first incidents there, a couple things stand out to me, but 2 of them that is sticking in my craw pretty hard. One of them, the most interesting, is the light flickering. I always like to kind of point out and harp on, no matter what the phenomenon is, there's always that little connection with electricity. Always. There's always some kind of electrical thing going on. And that is so neat.
Or water.
Yeah, well, I mean, water conducting like power. Yeah. But I'm saying like, I guess you could say water. I've heard of like water seeping through walls and whatnot.
No, a lot of cryptid stuff and like ghost stuff around like water, like around moving water, like creeks or wells. A lot of that happens.
Right. But it's interesting. Like if they touch you, if they're interacting with you, you feel electrical, for whatever reason, and it seems to go across all the spectrums of phenomena, whether it's cryptid, ghost, alien, what have you. I find that interesting.
Right.
But the other thing that I also find interesting is that in classical UFO lore and literature, you will find that often there are references to people seeing Alf, as you were talking about. Alf seems to be a very, very common screen memory. So there's that too to point out.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's
Alf,
interesting.
G.I. Joe, Santa Claus, and owls. That's probably like some of the most common. Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's the thing. That's the mystery. Because, like, we are, for whatever it is with our species, we like to explore. We just love to explore and push the boundaries of whatever it is. That's what we do. And there's no really, well, there might be land out there to look for. And a little bit of FE there. Beyond the ice wall. Extraterrestrial, meaning extra land?
Yeah, extra territory. That's right.
Yeah.
Earth is flat. Yeah.
Right. Possum. Yeah. I know Jim loves it. Jim loves it. Who knows?
Birds aren't real.
I'm not saying these are just my yeah. Space is fake and the G word. That's a funny one to me. It can't be both. It can't be both because if it happens not to be not real, don't get that. It was a joke I was working on a long time ago that I never formulated. But
we'll get it there.
Yeah, I don't know what I was getting. Yeah, like we love to explore, dude. We love it.
Yeah.
And this is the new front line. The new front line. A lot of people may say it's the old front line, and we just kind of lost it, or we've been like, which we have been, television, programming, there's a lot of that too. There's a lot of the worlds are filled with the cemeteries are filled throughout the world who believe they were fighting for the right reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
True. Everybody on every side thought they were right, dude. Everybody thought they were right. Some people knew they were wrong, but for the most part, most people think they were right, and they were doing it for the of a piece of land. You know what I'm saying? So there's always these front lines, they get changed through time too. And this is I think it's really cool that you and I come at it through different perspectives to try to get some type of, it's not even an answer. Okay, you're saying it's electrical, there's this. That's very interesting that it's that. Oh, what about this? And the aqueducts and the water. And just get people like some type of something to bite into a little bit too. Maybe, like hopefully eventually maybe bring forth their stories, because everyone has a story. I think everyone, there might be some grandpa out there who would deny it, but everyone's has some type of experience that's just not talked about. And that's what, so you guys get to do me a favor. I know I'm on Jim's show, but go ahead and contact him. You can contact him on Facebook, dude. You can contact him on, you got an email, I'm sure you do. And just write him. Just write him. I'm sure he's as you can see, he's a very gracious and sweet host.
We try.
With a good sounding microphone.
If you say so.
Oh, I do.
Well, I try. But yeah, I mean, on that note, get a hold of me, everybody. Get a hold of me. I'm willing to speak on whatever level you guys want to speak at. So that's totally open. I'm always happy to host people, or I can tell you a story. It's whatever you want. I'm here for it.
He's got plenty of them. He's got plenty of them.
Mm-hmm.
Go over and check out my channel. Jim came on and told me about his CE5. Actually, first go to his channel and check out the story. But then come over and get to see my big dumb head moving around and bobbing, asking Jim questions. But go to Jim's first, get the story, and then come check out my take on it. It's really interesting. Jim's had a lot of experiences.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? As an aside, just in case anybody hasn't been here for too long, when I came on and told that story on your channel, I still had long hair. So if nothing else, go there.
To see that.
Yeah, just go there out of just respect and just be like, yeah, Jim used to be cool.
What's this used to be, buddy? What's this used to be? You're a certified welder. Actually, even more than that. You're like a whatever. Sorry, you have a degree in it or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm a fancy
cool.
can of span every now and
again. Nothing cooler than a welder. That's what I am by trade. I'm a welder myself. So.
I won't disagree with that, but
it's cool. Welding is cool. We're actually melting pieces of metal together to make you your cars and
Yep.
your beer and your milk.
My daughter, she used to ask me like, "What do you do, Daddy? What are you?" Like talking about my job. I'm like, "Daddy is a dragon. Daddy's a dragon. I melt stuff together with fire and stick it." She's like,
Yeah.
"Whoa!" And we had a big yard sale out today, which is one reason why I'm so tired. And my boss came over, and he had 3 kids, and they're riding with us in the side by side. I was taking them through the woods and stuff, and
I gotta come
just
to your
out of
house, Jim.
nowhere, out of nowhere, my daughter, she's like, "My daddy's a dragon," just randomly. I'm
That's
like,
so cool.
maybe I need to explain this a little better. You're 7. Ah, dragon's cool. Whatever. So
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
So
welders.
you want to get up out of here? Do you want me to plug my stuff, Jim?
Go ahead and plug away, brother.
All right, man. I'm Tom Franklin, the host of the I Jupiter podcast. You can go over and check it out on YouTube, Spotify, hopefully getting on Apple Podcast and a couple others as well. I'm also on Rumble. I have a live show every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, which my time will switch for me. So I usually start here at 5. I'm on Mountain Time, but starting next week, it'll be 6 for me when I start, but it'll still be 7 p.m. Eastern time. I have Jim on sometimes. I have interesting gaggle of guests on. I also drop a pre-recorded episode every Friday. My lovely assistant, friend, mentor, Pamela always gives us a lot of help out there and puts it out there. I also have a PayPal. You can send me and help me update my equipment to make this a full-time thing because I would love to do that, and as well maybe help me out financially. And I also have some merch in case you want some cool shirts. That's all in the description in the bottom of my videos. Go ahead and click on that and get yourself a nice shirt, mug, or hat or something, for Halloween. And yeah, that's about it right now.
Well, awesome. Well, buddy, I appreciate you. Love you to death. And thanks for coming and hanging, man. Thanks for chopping it up with me. I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. Anytime, buddy. Anytime.
Awesome. All right. Well, hang around. I'll be back. So,
All right, buddy.
bye. All right, folks. Well, that was my good buddy Tom. I hope you found our conversation and musings interesting. Maybe got a little something out of it. Ooh, a little precious, you know. But yeah, guys, thanks for coming and hanging. I love you. I'm so excited to see you guys. I miss y'all so bad when I'm on the road. And yeah, get in contact with me. All the fun stuff, the Facebooks and the likes and the subs. Also remember the game, 1 or 2. I will reveal it. If we get some audience participation, we might make it a thing. Not sure that we're gonna have a live reveal. That sounds dangerous, but also kind of giggity. But anyways, guys, take them easy, and I don't know. When in doubt, tookie tookie. Love ya. Bye bye. In stream. Did it work? In stream. And